Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, Royal Caribbean says it finally has to break its silence on the court case. Of course, I'm talking about the tragic incident of the child falling from the grandfather's grip out an open window to the deck below from deck 11 down to the pier. We all know that the grandfather's been charged. He refused a plea deal. Before that, they went to court and filed charges against Royal Caribbean for negligence and, failing to have a sign, failing to have security measures, no warning signs saying that there could be an open window in this area. And so you know, they're claiming that it's Royal Caribbean's fault that this accident even occurred. And Royal Caribbean has now come out and said because of this lawsuit that it finally has to respond. It can no longer just convey condolences and, keep the family's feelings in mind. Because of this lawsuit, they have to respond in court and they have to say what they feel. So they've now come out and filed their own charges into court to have the original charges going against them dismissed from the family. And they are kind of very blunt in this one. And I have my phone with me this time because I want to get the quote exactly right. So first off, of course, they're going to always try and get a court case dismissed. Every single company in the world would do that, try and get a case dismissed before it goes to court. Because there's also charges pending in this case, it makes it more sense to also have it tried to thrown out because it kind of leans towards the charges that are going to go against the grandfather to begin with. But they come out and they've said that there is no possible way that the grandfather did not know that window was open. He would have only had to use his basic senses. Touch, smell, feeling, eyesight, basic senses. And of course, you know that the grandfather has claimed that he did not know the window was open. Yes, we know that the windows are tinted in different colors, so there's a different, but he says it came out a few weeks after the incident that, oh, he's colorblind, and maybe that's why he didn't see the window was open, and he didn't feel the wind and things like that. So they were coming up with answers to all these questions, these things that were going to be brought up in court. But Royal Caribbean has come out and said this is not a case of an unknown child wandering or approaching an open window and falling out because the window was defective or improperly positioned. It says the surveillance footage unquestionably confirms he walked up to the window and was aware that it was open. He'd leaned his upper body out of the window for several seconds, reached down, picked up his granddaughter, then held her out by or out of the open window for 34 seconds before losing his grip. His actions, which no reasonable person could have foreseen, were reckless and irresponsible and the sole reason for Shiloh's passing. So they're not mincing any words whatsoever. And they said they've kept quiet out of respect for the family and respect for the granddaughters passing away. But they said the lawyers for the family have been saying some things that they said, not in good faith. And so they had to come out and respond. And a lot of people did see that footage that went out, this closed circuit TV footage of the grandfather from the side angle, and you could see the granddaughter walking over across the room to him, and it does sort of appear that he was leaning out that window before he reached down to pick her up. So if you leaned out a window, how do you not know the window is open? It's going to be This is one of those cases that this may actually get that court case thrown out, because the court has this closed circuit TV footage, and if the judge deems that that's sufficient evidence to say no, right there we see that he knew, then this could get dismissed. Royal Caribbean could actually get this thrown out of court. Not only that, it sure wouldn't look very good for the grandfather going into criminal proceedings, in which he could face up to 3 years in jail. Hopefully, if this does happen and they do throw out the court case, then the plea deal would still be there for the grandfather, so this family can just move on. I don't really see any point of throwing a man who did something foolish and just accidentally did this and is suffering for this, and the family suffering, of actually putting a man like that in jail. He's not a hardened criminal. He did something possibly foolish, is possibly what happened. It's hard to fathom not knowing those windows are open. I've been on hundreds of cruise ships, and every single time, no matter how close I am to those windows, I knew they were open. I don't understand how anyone could possibly not know that window is open. And so I have a feeling the family's got such an uphill battle, and this case may actually get thrown out, and Royal Caribbean could win that case before it even gets to court. What do you guys think? Do you think that they're being too harsh again? They have to defend themselves. Let's be honest. If you were being sued, you'd have to defend yourself. And they have been very quiet and respectful of the family so far, saying they will only answer these things in court, which was kind of the classy thing to do. But now they have to. They had to file the court cases. They had to go to court. And they were very blunt in their decision, saying, no, it wasn't our fault. It was his fault. He acted unreasonably, and it was him who put the child in danger, that ultimately led to the accident. This story just keeps on going. I hope it does either get dismissed or go to court, and then we can put this story to rest, because it's still one of the most horrific cruise stories ever I've had to cover on the channel. But let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think Royal Caribbean might win this case and might actually get this thrown out? Or are we going to go through a whole court case only to come to basically the same decision? Well, I hope you liked this update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.